Good news, Tarot fam. So I'm talking about animal signs, right? So one of my many talents is not. I swear to God, my voice doesn't do this until I start recording. So one of my many talents is not only dream interpretation, but just like sign interpretation, right? You've been seeing repeating angel numbers. You have been seeing some star from the 1960s like repeating over and over again. Um, yeah, so this is just like and I've just been called to do this video because I have other things planned that I didn't do. Like I didn't do a Taurus eclipse video, and I just didn't feel called to do it. Like I have the graphic and everything set and ready, and I was like, I might still do one just to talk about it, because Taurus eclipses will come back again one day. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I felt more drawn to like these animal spirits. I am still tying it in with astrology because they're divided amongst like 12 signs. But just before any reading, I just start to hear certain things, and I feel like they're important. So, and this is just I mean, like all readings are mediumship. So even though this isn't mediumship episode 27 or whatever episode I'm on, it still ties into mediumship because a lot of these signs come from, the astral realm, whether that's in your dream or in the living realm. This is just what I'm seeing. Uh, so one thing I was hearing is like, oh, this is Chi Chi, it's Chi Chi. And I was like, oh, from Dragon Ball Z? Like, who is that? Uh, and then I was listening to this song called Dragon Ball Z Do Rag, that, like, oddly enough, has Quinta in it, who's like, having a moment and everything. So I just thought that was like kind of synchronistic. Chi Chi Devane is a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't even know her like given name or whatever, but she was one of my favorite characters from that show. And after I did my Lionsgate webinar thing, she passed. So it was like literally like right after I signed off. So it was just kind of like interesting. So that name was coming up. Dragon Ball Z Durag, Durags, Jimi Hendrix all along the Watchtower. So those are just like I always say in your own personal reading when these signs start to come up. I'm like I'm receiving these signs too. So just like put them in your pocket, and you don't have to get out your conspiracy board like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You can just put it in your pocket and let it resonate later, right? Like set it and forget it, right? So, all right. So these animal signs I've been seeing for Aries, I've been seeing the lion, right? So this is not even necessary to say like a Leo energy or Leos, whatever. It's like literally lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! So it's like you have a higher calling. You might be thinking that you're a sheep or a sheeple or something, but you're actually a lion. Aries is a ram with a golden fleece, like Jason and the Argonauts. I think that's the guy who goes after that. And it just says that you have a higher calling, have a lot of pride in who you are. I've been receiving this message for Aries that it's like it's not always important in every lifetime for you to be sexy, especially if you're an Aries with a lot of Pisces energy. It's might be more important for you to be more spiritual in this lifetime. But there is this thing where like nuns are sexy, right, for their piety and how much they don't show. Um, yeah, I have a fan going in the background because I just feel like it's more authentic. Like you can literally get a reading for me for 3 hours if I have a fan going in the background versus not having a fan. No fan, I'm like, get off the phone. But I prefer phone calls. These videos are great too. Um, Maybe that's like on Aries' mind right now. But so Taurus, I've been seeing. So the lion also speaks to me, like I said, is about pride, a higher calling, connecting with your family. Real wealth is having like coming from a strong family unit. Lions are stalkers, so the it's easier for you to stalk your prey with more people. And alignment. This could also be talking about like a fire family, so connecting more with like Leo and Sagittarius. Taurus, I'm seeing the lizard, right? So this talks about regeneration. Um, to tie it right back to the Dragon Ball Z do-rag, the Namekians have the power to regenerate their limbs. So, you know. uh, this also talks to me about that guy, the Tiger King guy, where he says this. I mean, I don't know if he means to do it or whatever. It's like production, but he says this affirmation of "I will never financially recover from this" very frequently throughout that series. So much so that I was like, oh, I have to make sure to never say that myself, even though I just said it. So the lizard spirit showing up for the sign of Taurus also talks about the regeneration of your finances. So as you're listening to this video of animal signs, and you're like, I'm not an Aries, skip ahead. I'm not a Taurus, skip ahead. Like, Aries just means your self-esteem. Taurus means your money. Gemini is like the way you talk, the way that you're viewed amongst your peers and your siblings and your comrades, your schoolmates, whatever. Uh, you know, um, I'll say it per sign, but that's just what it is. So for everyone out there listening to this video, for your self-esteem, you have a higher calling. You should have the pride of a lion. You should be part of a tribe. You should need to find your tribe. Taurus, or for your finances, the lizard, regeneration. You're gonna bounce back. Okay, you are going to say this affirmation. You are going to financially recover from this. Very simple. If you bought a lion, you may not financially recover from that. That message has been coming up to me too. But like a Namekian, you even have the ability to regrow your limbs. If not, you'll look like Cyborg from Teen Titans, and he's kind of cool anyway, right? Gemini, I'm seeing the humpback whale. So this is like saying that don't be afraid to sing the blues. Um, there's all different reasons why we sing. We can sing for manifestation, we can sing for affirmation, but we can also sing for like toxic expulsion. If someone did you wrong and did you dirty, it is a little bit psychotic to just come back with a smile on your face, right? So you have to sing your humpback whale song. The humpback whales. Maybe if you're looking for a band name or something like that, Gemini. If you want to sing the blues, sing the blues, there's a lot of money in singing the blues. And I think a lot of Geminis know that. I think that even outside of the entertainment world, into the political spectrum, Gemini knows that with discohesion and with sadness, it is easier to control. So if you're like some type of pop singer and all of your songs are sad, it's easier for you to resonate with people because most of the people are sad and afraid of a spouse cheating, yada yada yada. So Cancer, your mother, your feelings, I've been receiving this message very recently about like spiritually cutting the umbilical cord. But right here I'm seeing the mountain. So it's not even an animal. I am seeing like an entire force of nature like Gaia. And I was going to go rant about this on Twitter, but I was like, this God of War Kratos complex, like, or love affair that people have, I'm like, you're an idiot. It's like playing Monopoly and stabbing the board and expecting to win. No, the board is damaged now. You've brought an affront upon God. So what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? It's stupid, and I think that a lot of people, when it comes to others' psychic intuition, their own psychic intuition, their own acts of divine intervention, where a hand of fate has literally swooped them up like a baby in a cartoon construction site, and they still ignore the fact that there are other forces out there protecting them, maternal forces. They're crazy. Even in the delusion that Kratos can beat Gaia, or that Kratos can defeat Thor, or that Kratos can defeat Zeus, is a fucking delusion. And anybody playing that stupid game, I swear to God, will be thrown into the stars. Like, yeah, you'll be thrown into the stars upside down, Cassiopeia. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, just don't. Like, it's weird to have supernatural or powerful beings around in the world. It may make you feel vulnerable or insignificant to know that there are people more powerful than you. But it's just like, Aphrodite is always going to be prettier than you, and ocean's water is always going to be the sweetest. Um, just ask to be somewhat like them. Ask for one of Ocean's peacock feathers. Like, you don't ask to be her because you don't know her. You know what I mean? And she'll throw you up in the stars too, upside down, Cassiopeia. 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 Okay, so that's the message for Cancer and your feelings and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you don't feel like you have to take on God. Like, you don't have to, if you're the Von Trapp family singers and you have to escape from people, yeah, sing about climbing every mountain, but the mountains aren't there to challenge your strength. They're there to, like, control the weather and stuff. So for Leo, I'm seeing moose, the moose sign. I love moose. Moose is my favorite symbol. It's one of my favorite animals. They are a force of nature. They are literally living, walking trees. There is nothing that can stop a moose. So Leo, there might be someone who you have given the nickname Moose to, who is going to be a force of nature, a rock star in whatever it is that they do. It brings to mind that TV show, Disney, ABC, Pepper Ann, and they have the daughter Moose, who is like very like gender ambiguous and just like tough and strong and skateboards and is totally radical and all those things. So when I feel like the Leo and the Moose, Leo is like your ego. So this is to say that even you should be more like Moose. You should be strong, as she is. And yeah. And then like your creativity. So it's like, if you're female or male or whatever, that a lot of what people are actually talking about when they talk about masculine and femininity is strength and weakness. So they're saying like, oh, this person isn't womanly like because she just isn't sitting there taking abuse. Because she isn't weak. She's strong. Therefore, not woman. Which is ridiculous. No one would ever... I guess people do ask that of men, but it's not the caveman days anymore. Like, seriously, you never really have to fight anybody. Stop drinking. You know what I mean? Like, if you weren't so turned up all the time, this fucking Fred Flintstone, bash him on the head mentality that you have wouldn't even exist. You would see, like, how crazy you seem trying to fight people. Like, you're touching somebody, it's COVID. So, Virgo, and this is, like, the hardest thing about doing... So, this card I'm seeing for Virgo, which is health, work, and service. So, the way that you might be seen at your job, the way that you might be seen by a doctor... this is why these animal spirits can kind of like read people for filth in one word, and it's like, goodbye, whatever. But so I'm seeing like the cougar, right? There's nothing wrong with being a cougar or a mountain lion or a big game cat, and that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, especially for a woman, it's like they want you to be weak, right? And it's like, oh damn, like there's this woman who has her own credit card and she doesn't need permission from her father or her husband. Like she has it on her own. 9 of Pentacles. It can be kind of an affront to other people's egos, but it isn't an affront to God. You know what I mean? Like women are supposed to be strong, like in a lion's pride. The women or the female lions are the hunters. And there's this like comic on YouTube who says this one joke, and he's like, imagine Getting bit by a shark and being like, oh, can you imagine, like, Josh got bit by a female shark, Um, that's totally not how the joke went, but do you understand what I'm saying? Basically, all these animals are trying to tell you that, like, weak does not denote female, and strong does not denote male. Uh, that's, you know, I guess within the species of the animal. So yeah, Virgo, Cougar, health, work, and service. Don't be afraid to be a sage or to be the wise older one at your job. Experience is a superpower. It's a good thing, like Martha Stewart. So Libra, Libra or your personal relationships, or I always see Libra as a magnet as to what it is that you are attracting. We are seeing the wolf here. So the wolf talks to me a lot about Virgo and Pisces energy, like being a lone wolf or being a loner, taking things too seriously. Libras, it's like I don't. When it comes to Libra, I always feel like I want to take their candy away. You know what I mean? It's like they like horror movies and they like bad toxic relationships, don't we all? And it's like I always feel like I'm like, "Oh, everything you like I have to take away." You know what I mean? You like crystals. Well, you're spending a little bit too much money on crystals. You like this, well, that's not good for you either. But I guess Libra does have a problem with like overindulgence. So does Taurus, so does Pisces. But um, and so as I say that a Sagittarius in a committed relationship, it's like they're holding their head underwater and they're gonna have to come up for air at some point. With Libra, it's kind of like their relationship are two pumping lungs. And without their partner, they don't have the other pumping lung. You know what I mean? They're like, I need somebody. And in your loneliness or in your singlehood, as you're discovering, like, oh wow, there's a lot of magic to be single, it can kind of turn you into a wolf where now you never want to be in a relationship again, which can then also be another indulgence where you're single for too long and now have gone feral. Um, and the ability to go feral it's a superpower, it's a good thing. But you're a Libra, you know what I mean? And someone has to be pretty and well kept and deliver the message in a beautiful way, in which the entire world can wake up and hear it, right? You can't just howl at the moon at midnight, cursing your foes and enemies. You have to rise in the early morning like the rooster, and deliver your message like Good Morning America, like Kelly Ripa. You know what I mean? Like, hi, my name is Libra, and the world is ending, and I'm gonna deliver to you like Hillary Duff with so much whiteness so that you will understand. If you don't have to say it like in a British accent, so you have some type of sense of authority. Or Hillary Banks. Like I always call it the Hillary Banks voice, where it's like, okay, like I have some really harsh news to tell you. Uh, you know, um, you might have to go savage for a while. And all these animals together, when I start to see like a blending of what these animals are saying to me, it is like very like feral mountain folk animals, but also like cryptids and wild mythological beings. Because at the center of this reading, I'm also seeing like the unicorn, which is saying to me like you're a moose and you're a mountain and you're a wolf and you're a cougar, but you're like a mythological cougar. Like you're the cougar of all cougars. You know what I mean? You're not just Stifler's mom. You're Jennifer Coolidge cougar. Okay. You're like the cougar that all the cougars want to be. And I've actually been talking a lot about Jennifer Coolidge in my readings, where I'm like, who would have thought? She did, obviously. So now we talk about Scorpio, which Scorpio is like a lot of the things that people like don't want to talk about, right? It's the things that they censor. It's the leaf, right? The leaf of censorship on the genitalia, and so it does talk about your sex life. It talks about taxes. It talks about death and birth, life and death, and love and birth. And we're seeing the lynx here, a lynx spirit. So when I see the lynx, I do think of like In my fortune telling cards, I think of like the Malinka, like the mistress or whatever. Um, and um, I'm hearing like keep your paws off me. The lynx is a very beautiful animal. It's not really giving me like too much of anything other than like being very like narrow minded and having your eyes on the prize. That's just like the message I'm getting. With Sagittarius, I'm seeing like the hummingbird. So the hummingbird spirit is kind of like an annoying spirit guide who won't leave you alone, who's trying to sometimes what might feel like forcibly deliver a message to you. Um, they're persistent. It's a persistent message. The uh, the sign of Sagittarius represents parts of your life, like your college education, long distance travel. So you might have like an aching yearn to fly long distances, but like a hummingbird, it's better to zip and fly around in one spot for a while. I don't know if hummingbirds migrate. They probably do. I don't know. But that's just like the message that's coming to me. Sagittarius, like I said, talks about long distance travel. It also talks to me about like Mexico and India, specifically places with like temples. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So, um, be persistent with your philosophy. Be persistent with your high vibration. Moving on to the sign of Capricorn, I'm seeing like the peacock. So I have always had this issue with Capricorns where it's like they're very talented and they're very organized, very attractive, and they have all the potential to be like a great, what I would probably right now call like a minstrel, like a poet or a rapper or a singer or a dancer of some sort. But the thing about the peacock and peacock feathers is that they're actually not supposed to be worn on stage. So, it's just like you're just supposed to be this lord and legend person and not have your soul stolen by a camera. Um, and that's just your destiny. As the House of Capricorn talks about, like your life purpose, where your life is heading, your destiny, your career path, and all those things. It could just be being the makeup artist or being the clothing designer for the person that is going on stage. And they might wear one of your peacock feathers, but it's like this message I received about like wearing peacock feathers on stage is bad luck. So Capricorn, it's just like if you have never had your 15 minutes of fame, there's a lot of repercussions that come with that 15 minutes that you're not paid with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not given security detail for your viral moment. You know what I mean? You're just put on the chopping block. And for Aquarius, I'm seeing the dragon. So the dragon is another sign of that's very similar to the unicorn, where it's like you are like you're what is it, Harry Potter, like you're a wizard, Harry. You know what I mean? Like I'm psychic, you're psychic. Wake up to it. I think that there are a lot of Scorpios and I would say Aquarius that are like skeptics of psychics, but it's like you're the one seeking them out. So it's like there's obviously something to it, you know what I mean? But just accept that you're a mythological being. The dragon, I've kept hearing this name, Mandrake. Mandrake, where it's like we already know that there are like human lizard, human dragon hybrids, right? So you feel free to talk to your friends about it. Aquarius rules like your social media network, your friends. I also think that the house of Aquarius, like the 11th house, talks about like vibration. So know that you have like what is this, like a griffin, a Peter Griffin vibration, the vibration of a mythological being. And in the 12th house of Pisces, we have the dolphin card, which says play. And having a lot of really strong connections to the house of Pisces and seeing dolphins here, obviously those are another sign or another animal that talks about vibration, communication. It talks about singing. Um, Maybe even as I'm telling Gemini to sing the blues, it's saying that Pisces, it's now time that you can maybe sing a happier song and have sex and be flirty. As I'm telling Aries, it may not be a time for you to be sexy, it's a time for you to be saintly. Pisces is saying that this is a time for you to be like sapiosexual, connect with people on a different level. And this message of dolphins and play, this is for everybody. This is what secretly is going on in your life. It's not solely just for Pisces. But I guess it would resonate higher for like Cancers and Scorpios and Pisces. Something about the cove, I guess, but that's not sexy at all. That's not sexy for dolphins at all. But you're a mythological dolphin, like some type of like mythological narwhal, which narwhals are real, so they're not even mythological beings. So it's like a dragon narwhal, a narwhal dragon. Oh, I think that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. The narwhal dragon. See, this is how it happens, right? Like I'm literally looking at a piece of paper that are notes on a reading that I did, and narwhal dragon pops up, right? Like that's crazy. Narwhal dragon. I swear to I don't. That might not even be a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but I swear to God, there's something very similar to that. And then I go and I post it on Twitter, and people are like, "Oh, you're crazy," and I'm like, "No, narwhal dragon." It just popped up in my head, and freaking animal signs video. But anyway, so animal signs, dream interpretation, angel number interpretation, mediumship. It's like a beautiful milkshake. You know what I mean? Like it's just the name that you want to call it, and the energies that you're willing to accept. Because I'm not, music started playing, spirit walked in, animals started speaking to me, Yu-Gi-Oh cards started appearing. No Pokemon, but that's cool. Uh, you know, a lot of great messages. And I always tell people I think the videos are a lot better, especially if you're a busy person, because if you just let me ramble and if you just let me waffle on, that is when you will that's when you will receive the message. The background noise and the audio quality may not always be absolutely gold, and I try my best. But the messages always resonate. The signs are always succinct. Any naysayer, like, girl, I would fight. Like, I would argue. Like, if you really wanted to go back and forth on readings that I've done for you, like line for line, if you have notes, like I will sit there and I'll pull apart how that, like, there, I know that it resonated in your life. Like at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm ready to fight, honey. Like I'm ready to chirp and get my dolphin on, but I'm also ready to play. I guess also ready to play. But I know I have a higher calling. I know that you have a higher calling, and I'm literally trying to like be a rooster and wake you guys up to your higher calling. That you are supernatural beings. Chi Chi is also the character, the John Leguizamo character from whichever movie he was like a drag queen in as well. So that is also coming to mind for some reason. But I'm gonna leave you guys on that because I've lost my, that's. I was called to do this video. There's a ton of other videos I'm supposed to be doing that I guess I'm not doing. I'm rebelling from myself. Like, subscribe if you like and subscribe to things, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.